This testimony is related to the power of introspection. It can illustrate how our conditioning can direct our lives without us being really aware of it. During the summer holidays, my wife and I decided at the beginning of our relationship to go and visit a beautiful island that was an harmonious blend of mountains and seaside. In the middle of the morning, while we were walking in the mountains, I had my first understanding of what the power of the unconscious is, and more precisely, of what conditioning is. Everything was perfect during this walk that did not require much effort except for one thing. My wife kept stopping to look at the flowers, the insect, the landscapes. The place was, is it true, magnificent. On the other hand, I was impatient because I found that she was slowing down our pace. Several times I expressed my dissatisfaction by asking her to hurry up. But after several complaints, she got angry and asked me, "Why do we have to walk faster? Why do we have to speed up? The restaurant is booked for lunch. We are not late. The weather is perfect. What justifies walking so fast?" And there, I asked myself the same question. Indeed, why did we have to speed up when there was no rational reason to do so? And suddenly, an old memory came back to me. I was a child. I was about 10 years old. I was walking in the mountains, and my father hit me on the head with his mountain stick because I was not walking fast enough. Indeed, being the eldest, I had to follow him as closely as possible without leaving any space between him and me, because my sister and my brother were following behind. The little boy that I was walked while crying, trying to walk fast and breath at the same time, despite the sobs. With the reminiscence of this memory, I immediately understood that there was in me a form of conditioning induced by a difficult experience. This led me 20 years later to adopt a behavior that was not at all adapted to the current environment. This first experience was rich in lessons, both because it is thanks to my wife that I was able to become aware of what conditioning is, but also because it was the opportunity for me to begin an introspective path. A slow journey at the beginning, but which I greatly accelerated later, understanding that there were in me very probably other toxic conditionings. This experience was beneficial to me for several reasons. First, it is thanks to a tension between me and my wife that awareness appeared, which made me realize how much the other, and particularly the spouse, is an inexhaustible source of learning. What struck me was the fact that tensions, conflicts, arguments can teach us so much about ourselves, as long as we agree to silence our ego for a few moments. Then it was by looking inside myself that I was able to understand what was really happening. I learned that the past is often experienced in the present, but without us being really aware of it. Introspection opened up a perspective of infinite evolution at that precise moment. Finally, it was because I loved my wife so much that, not wanting to hurt her, I question my behavior instead of justifying what could not be justified. Hurting the people you love is common when you are blind to the toxic conditioning that sometimes pollutes our relationship. In this sense, the love I had and still have for my wife was a powerful driving force for change. And you? Do you also think that conditioning sometimes decides your behaviors?